All right, 2022. My goodness, do I even remember or know how to do this anymore? All right, guys, welcome to Rude's World, the channel where I review things that I get a real kick out of. Today's no exception. Today is actually a follow-up video, a 9-month follow-up video to the review on the Chuwi Larkbox Pro II that I did quite a while back. And actually, I have it right here. The Chuwi Larkbox Pro. Small form factor PC, desktop, lightweight monster of a device. Truth be told, when I first got this, I didn't think I'd be making a follow-up video. Starting out, I thought it would be a gimmick device, but it has turned out to be a staple media device throughout the majority of the pandemic, and by that, the past year. It's been excellent for streaming, it's been excellent for media, it's been excellent for, even more recently, gaming. And I know in my last video we talked about retro gaming, running emulators on it, even running like StarCraft 2 on the lowest settings, which by and large is a 10-20-year-old game at this point, which makes me sad. But thanks to cloud gaming and the advent of cloud gaming, we are playing Halo Infinite, playing Forza Horizon 5, we are playing Dragon Ball Z Fighters on this, and it's been awesome. I'll also be talking a little bit about what the experience has been, how it's been holding up in the past 9 or so months, some things that I've done to improve the overall experience, and all of that. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. It's good to see you guys again.
Alright, for the uninitiated, here's a quick recap of the specs that I covered in my original video, but the Chuwi Larkbox Pro II comes packed with a J4115 processor, 6GB of RAM, 128GB of ROM, 128GB of internal storage via an eMMC, but that's fully upgradable to a full terabit storage via an M2 slot. After unscrewing the bottom there, you also get Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and 3 USB slots in the back. From what I understand, it's totally compatible with a USB hub. However, don't go too crazy, because in my experience, unless your hub has ancillary power to support other devices or things like KVM switches. Now, speaking of limited USB slots, and considering the fact that the primary use case for this machine is a media hub, the biggest quality of life improvement for the daily use of this machine was getting a keyboard mouse combo of all things. In this case, the Logitech K4100, which you'll see a quick unboxing of. I'll have a dedicated video that's just on that alone. However, overall, it just comes with a single USB wireless dongle that you can attach to the back of the Chuwi Larkbox Pro, and really kind of levels up the overall experience of what otherwise would be a clunky experience with a separate mouse keyboard. I will be making a dedicated video to the Logitech K400 in a separate video, but for now, just know that it makes for an excellent experience using something as like the Chuwi Larkbox Pro II. All right, cool. Let's talk about performance and how it's held up in the past less than a year that I've had it. The Chuwi Larkbox Pro II, it's worth saying I don't have on 24/7. I don't have it running programs or downloading things regularly. I use it primarily as a media consumption or streaming computer or workstation. So at the end of each day that I do use it, I do turn it off, I do shut it down, and on average, it's probably around 4 to 8 hours. As far as the overall navigation of the OS, which, by the way, I've updated, I think, a month or two to Windows 11 from 10. No issues, no hiccups thus far. Browsing the web can get slightly clunky, and by that, you might have to wait an extra 0.5 seconds for something to load up fully, let's say YouTube or something to that effect. But it overall, once you've got a video running or once you've kind of buffered all the way through, it's a smooth experience. I've been able to run 4K YouTube, I've been able to run Netflix and other streaming services with zero issues, and it's always been great. It's always been good. Now, I've had a few questions on fan noise and how loud the fan can get. So yeah, there is a little bit of a fan. I guess you do hear the fan, right? But I guess it's all a matter of where you position your device. Personally, I have it like situated between my media console, where you'd have either a video game console or like historically a DVD player in, and I notice nothing, and it's probably because it's far away. But if you were like within a foot or less than a foot away, you could probably hear it and discern it. But anything further away from that, you are good to go. All right, let's talk about gaming for a second, and let's be real. This is a small device. It's not going to have a ton of processing power behind it, but it's got just enough to run some of the standard video game console emulation up to, I think, the 128-bit era fairly decently. Check out my last video for more demo footage on that, as well as running some older games of yesteryear, such as StarCraft II, on some lower settings. It's able to kind of hold its own fairly well, and probably more decently than some full-fledged desktop computers in some sense of previous years. Now, that being said, you're not going to be able to run next-gen or current-gen games natively. And I think the key word here is natively, because one of the coolest things that's come out in the past year or so, even though it's been a technology that's been out for a while, is cloud gaming. And like, even though you're not going to be able to run Cyberpunk 2077 or Halo Infinite natively, you can certainly do it using the cloud, and using cloud services like Google Stadia or Microsoft, more recently Microsoft's Game Pass Ultimate Cloud Gaming Services. You are able to play these games fairly flawlessly. Fairly being the key word there, is because it's very contingent on, one, your internet speed, and two, your internet speed, and the fact that cloud gaming in itself has its own bit of latency challenges. To a casual gamer, it is phenomenal. I recently had a cousin come over and play Forza Horizon on the Chuwi Larkbox Pro. Had no idea he was using the Larkbox Pro, nor did they have an idea that it was using cloud. For all they knew, it was being run natively, and to me that was a very strong example of how far we've come with cloud gaming, and it's been awesome. So here's some footage around what that experience looks like, whether that's Halo Infinite, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, or something like Forza, which is a racing game that just looks gorgeous and beautiful. So highly recommend this, and I honestly think cloud gaming is here to stay, and a definite use case for unlocking the gaming potential for devices like the Chuwi Larkbox Pro II. Alright, so that concludes the 9-month review of the Chuwi Larkbox Pro II. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got something out of it. Key takeaways: Logitech K400 is a bit of a game changer. So is the Microsoft Cloud Gaming Services. Highly recommend both. And if I were to ever retire Chuwi Larkbox Pro II, I'd definitely be taking both of those along with me. I would recommend, for those that are seriously using this as a daily driver of sorts, to go ahead and consider upgrading the internal storage to, I think, the M2. Expand that storage. Maybe go ahead and get yourself a wireless controller too, along with that K400, just to complete and make sure that it's as seamless as an experience that way. And tell me if you've been using the Chuwi Larkbox Pro II. What's your experience been like thus far? Anything that I didn't cover or things that people should know, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Otherwise, that's it. Appreciate you all watching up until now. If you want to see more stuff, go ahead and click that sub. If you like this video, go ahead and click like, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.